Let me tell you about a builder named Daniel. Daniel spent 11 weeks building an autonomous procurement agent. And I mean truly autonomous, the kind that could wake up at 3 a.m., identify an expiring software license, find 3 alternative vendors, compare their pricing tiers, draft a legal grade purchase agreement, and send the vendor a signed copy, all without Daniel touching his keyboard. It was, by any reasonable benchmark, impressive engineering. Every node worked: research, green; vendor selection, green; contract generation, green; invoice dispatch, green; and then payment, gray; disconnected, a broken chain link at the end of 11 weeks of work. The vendor waited 4 days, then they canceled. Daniel didn't have a model problem. He had the best model available. He didn't have a prompt problem. The agent's reasoning was impeccable. He had a payment layer problem, and that's what this video is about. Daniel's story isn't unique. It's a pattern that's showing up in production systems from São Paulo to Singapore, in startups and in enterprise engineering teams at companies you'd recognize. The scenario almost always follows the same arc. A developer builds an agent that can execute a complex, multi-step workflow autonomously. The agent performs flawlessly across every intelligence-dependent task. The agent reaches a step that requires moving money. The payment layer demands something the agent structurally cannot provide. The workflow collapses, a human is paged, the autonomy promise is broken. Now, the builders building these systems are not naive. They've read the documentation, they've tried Stripe, PayPal, corporate card APIs, bank ACH integrations, and prepaid card programs. And every single one of these solutions has the same architectural assumption baked in at layer 0. A human being is on the other end of this transaction. That assumption is so deep, so foundational, that it shapes everything. KYC requirements, fraud detection models, authorization flows, identity verification handshakes. The entire payment stack was designed in an era when the only entities that could initiate financial transactions were people and corporations composed of people. AI agents are neither, and that mismatch is the problem. Let me make this concrete. Walk through what actually happens when a well-built agent tries to execute a vendor payment. The agent identifies that a SaaS subscription, say a data enrichment API at $890 a month, is expiring in 48 hours. It has been pre-authorized by a human operator to handle renewals under $1,500. Budget exists, authorization exists, logic is sound. The agent calls Stripe's payment API. Stripe's fraud detection evaluates the request, looks at the velocity of the account, flags it as unusual. Stripe sends a 3DS challenge, a 2-factor authentication prompt that requires a human to verify via SMS or email. The agent has no phone number, no email inbox it can authenticate from. The challenge times out, transaction declined, the agent retries. Same result. It logs the failure. It notifies the human operator, which defeats the entire point of an autonomous system. The subscription lapses. 3 downstream workflows start throwing errors. A developer gets paged at 11:45 p.m. Nothing in that failure chain had anything to do with intelligence. The agent made the right decision at every step. The failure was entirely infrastructural. When you look across the failure patterns, they cluster into 3 distinct layers. Layer 1, identity. Every payment system requires a verifiable identity, a person with a government ID, a tax number, a proof of address. An AI agent doesn't have any of that. It has an API key and a wallet address, and those aren't recognized as valid principals by any major payment rail. Layer 2, authorization and liability. Payment systems need to know who is authorized to spend what, and they need a liability chain. With agents, there's no clear legal framework for how an AI entity enters into a financial agreement. Layer 3, fraud detection calibration. Every modern fraud detection system is trained on human transaction patterns. Agent transaction patterns look nothing like human transaction patterns. Agents move money at unusual hours, process many small transactions in rapid succession, transact across multiple currencies and jurisdictions in a single workflow. Every one of those behaviors is a red flag in a system trained to detect human fraud. 3 layers: identity, authorization, and behavioral profiling. No existing payment infrastructure addresses even one of them natively for non-human principles. At this point, someone always says, just attach a corporate card, problem solved. It sounds reasonable, and it is wrong in ways that matter at scale. The liability problem multiplies. Every transaction is legally attributable to the corporation, so humans have to audit every transaction anyway. Fraud limits and spend controls are built for human spending patterns. You'll hit velocity limits and trigger anomaly alerts mid-workflow. And currency settlement is still a problem. A globally operating agent will hit conversion friction and cross-border fees at every step. A corporate card isn't agent payment infrastructure. It's a temporary workaround that creates new problems faster than it solves old ones. So what does the right solution look like? First principle, the agent needs to be a first-class financial principal. Its own funded, addressable wallet that it controls within the bounds of its authorization policy. The wallet is the agent's financial identity. Second principle, the wallet needs to be natively multi-currency. Agents operate globally. They shouldn't need to know in advance what currency a vendor requires. Here's how BananaCrystal approaches this. You fund an agent wallet with USDC. The protocol trades that into USDB, BananaCrystal's stablecoin, and from there, the agent can swap into any supported token or local currency equivalent for settlement. The agent doesn't need to understand Forex. The liquidity pool handles that. Third principle, authorization should be policy-driven, not human bottlenecked. Operators define spend limits, counterparty whitelists, time windows, currency constraints in advance. The agent operates within those policies autonomously. Fourth principle, the fraud detection model must understand agent behavior. High frequency, multi-currency, programmatic, 24/7, calibrated against an agent baseline, not a human one. This isn't a marginal improvement on existing payment rails. It's a fundamentally different architecture, and it's the architecture that the agent economy requires. Right now, every autonomous agent in production is operating at a fraction of its potential economic value, because the moment it hits a financial step, it has to stop and ask a human. That's not autonomy. That's a very sophisticated suggestion engine. When the payment layer is solved, an agent managing a supply chain places the order, pays the deposit, tracks the shipment, and closes the invoice end to end. An agent managing content production pays the milestone and releases final payment on sign-off. An agent managing compute infrastructure moves budget between providers in real time and pays per-second billing across 5 clouds simultaneously. The economic unlock is not incremental. Agent autonomy without financial autonomy is like giving someone a car with no engine. Impressive to look at, useless in motion. If you're a builder watching this, BananaCrystal is building the payment infrastructure layer for autonomous agents. Fund an agent wallet with USDC, the protocol issues USDB, and from there, your agent can transact in any supported currency, programmatically, against predefined policy rails. Start at bananacrystal.com. The developer documentation covers wallet provisioning, authorization policy setup, and the multi-currency settlement flow. For the deeper research, the data, the case studies, we publish daily at agentpayments.substack.com. Every morning, a new breakdown of what's breaking in the agent economy and what the infrastructure solution looks like. If you're building autonomous agents and you've hit the payment wall, subscribe. If you found this video useful, like it, share it with a developer who's building agents, and subscribe here. We're covering the agent economy infrastructure layer every week, the problems, the architecture, and the solutions being built in real time. I'll see you in the next one.